Hey, this is Brett, Homestead.
Looks like you was a good boy at Christmas.
We got a Christmas present from my sister.
She loves you.
She sells Pampered shelf. She got us the quick cooker. No, I don't know nothing about one.
I was going to ask, how quick does it cook?
We're going to find out. We hadn't opened it yet. Hadn't got it out of the box. You know, we've been naughty. We've been naughty. We got lots of books. Looks like I got some reading to do.
Ah, entertainment. Wow.
There at the top.
Ooh, it has a lid. Huh? Text, what do you need?
I finally got it out of the box. It was in the box pretty good, I have to say. Pampered shelf does box it really well. We got, check out the pod in it. It's got a good sized pod. Got a little rack going down the bottom of it. It's going to be interesting to see what we can do with this. I've never used one like this. Last time I used a pressure cooker was the old style. You lock the top on it, put the weight on it, and it jiggles. We ain't had one of them in a long time. We're going to try something, and I'm going to have to read the book for a few minutes. I've got couple of ideas. I've got some meat I can cook in it. We'll bring you back when we get something ready to cook. I've got to get this thing washed and ready. Well, I guess today is cooking day with this thing. I've done some reading. I've cleaned it. I've done the steam cleaning that it said in the manual. It should be warm and ready to go. Well, while I was looking through the books, my sister gave me some cookbooks to go with this cooker. I'll show you the one I've been reading in. That one had a recipe for ribs in it, barbecue ribs. It was a root beer rib, and we don't have root beer here. Wasn't going to town to get root beer. So I'm going to use Pepsi. My grandmother used to use, most times she liked Pepsi, but whatever we had in the house too, what mattered back then. But she poured over ham, or put it in the bottom of the pan with ham. When she cooked the big ham in the oven, it had Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, whatever we had on hand. We've got Pepsi on hand today, so there's going to be Pepsi ribs. Now what I'm going to cook is country style pork ribs. Which I know I'm putting ribs in a pressure cooker. Well, technically they're not ribs. They're called ribs, but if you know your hog, that's not a real rib. It's just shaped like them. But I've got my ingredients. Having to look for something to work with here. We'll try to be nice and ease these off in here. Alright, now I've got them loaded. It's just a lot easier to do it with both hands instead of one. As you can see they're lined the bottom. Technically I don't have as much as the recipe calls for. It calls for 3 pounds of ribs. These are 2.3 pounds, but instead of root beer, I'm going to use Pepsi, what we have on hand. I'm going to measure here. About a half can, it said 6 ounces. And it said a cup of barbecue sauce. Let's see. I might ask you for that. Alright, it says 1 cup of barbecue sauce. We're using Bullseye today. Need to clean that out. The old original Bullseye. What we got on hand, what we're going to use. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper to this, and we're going to put the top on it. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of pepper. I like a little more pep. It's going to be pretty sweet with that Pepsi in it, so add a little salt here. About a tablespoon of salt. I ain't worried about rubbing it down with it because it's going to cook for 35 minutes. I sprinkle some garlic. Just helping the sauce out a little bit more. I like it a little spicy. Miss Cindy likes it a little sweet. I did use the recipe for as the amount of liquid to put in, the amount of barbecue sauce. I did add some extra spice. Did use a different cold drink, but it's the same thing. I didn't rub the ribs down because I didn't use a dry rub. I just put some extra seasoning on top and I stirred them around. So everything's been stirred together. It's time to put the top on this thing. Not the easiest thing to do one-handed here. There we go. Top's on it. It says you got to line this up. The steam markings need to be in line with this button, which that locks that down. It said to dial it till it hit beef and pork and hit start. Roughly 35 minutes from now I'll open it up and we'll see what they look like. Well, it's done cooking. I done released the steam. Let's see what we got. They look pretty good. Just falling apart. They ain't bad for 35 minutes. And the recipe says for me to take the ribs out, put it on sear and let it cook the sauce down for about 5 minutes, like a thicker sauce. So that's where I'm going. Be back in a few minutes. Well, I got them out of the quick cooker. I went back to the recipe book because it was talking about making your sauce to go over, and I realized that I made a mistake. I was not supposed to put the barbecue sauce in while they cooked, just the Pepsi and the seasoning. You're supposed to use it at the end to make your sauce. It said 5 minutes you mixed a cup of your barbecue sauce with the juice that was left over from cooking the ribs by themselves in the pot. You set the ribs out, and in about 5 minutes you'd have thick sauce. But since I already mixed all mine together, plus the juices of the meat, it was a little thinner and a little more of it, so it took a little while longer to cook it. And I had to use a slotted spoon to get the ribs out because they are absolutely falling apart. But I did get my sauce made. It still makes sauce, even if you don't follow the instructions or read closely. I'm going to put our sauce over the top and we're going to have lunch. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button, help me out. You know somebody that would like to see this video, send it to them. Know anybody that hadn't subscribed that would like our content, ask them to subscribe. Thank you for watching this far. God bless.